Color guard, halt, right, face, prepare to raise the colors. Raise the colors, camp, salute, bugler, sound off. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Color guard reform. Right, face, forward, march. Color guard, halt, at ease.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Welcome to the Longspeak Council's virtual campout. My name is Kyle Sievers. I'm a member of the Order of the Arrow, as well as the 2020 Lodge Chief for Cole Lodge. For those of you unaware, the Order of the Arrow is Scouting's National Honor Society, our main focus being to promote camping and cheerful service within our units and councils nationwide. Cole Lodge itself operates within Longspeak Council, and we could not be more excited to be a part of tonight's event. I'd like to thank you all for coming, and I hope you enjoy.
Hey, what you doing?
I'm bored walking.
Do you have any final words before you face the firing squad?
Toilet paper!
Oh. Won't fall for that again. Do you have any last words before facing the firing squad?
Hand sanitizer! What?
All right, we're ready this time. Do you have any final words before you face the firing squad?
Hey, what you doing?
I'm hanging out.
Cool. Can I join?
Yeah, sure.
This is a stick down.
This is a stick up. How to tell time in a virtual campout.
Quiet down, it's 2 a.m.
We are not pirates that don't do anything. We just stay home and lie around. And if you ask us to do anything, we'll just tell you we don't do anything.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bored today. I'm gonna make someone walk the plank. Hey you, what are you doing?
Mopping the deck.
You, what are you doing?
I'm on lookout.
What are you doing?
I'm on laundry.
Hey, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh, walk the plank!
If you like having fun, and if you like adventure and trying new things, the Jamboree is the best place to do it.
Go hard, yeah. Fighting through the fear, the blood, the sweat, and the tears. Go hard, pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking.
If you're deciding to come to the Jamboree, it's awesome.
You get to do stuff like this. It is such a great experience for anyone who wants to get outside and do stuff.
Everybody seems to come off smiling. Out there like, yeah, this is awesome.
If you're coming to Jamboree and you want high up in the air, fun, while testing yourself, go to the ropes course.
If you're going to come to the Jamboree, I recommend the skate park 100%.
If you have the opportunity to go to a 2021 Jamboree, definitely go. It's the chance of a lifetime.
Go hard, yeah. Fighting through the fear, the blood, the sweat, and the tears. Go hard, pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking. Here we go, 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 here we go. Go hard, yeah. Fighting through the fear, the blood, the sweat, and the tears. Go hard, pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking. Here we go, 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 here we go. Go hard, pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking. Go hard.
Good evening, Longs Peak Council.
Good evening, John, Alberts, Assistant Scoutmaster, and High Adventure Coordinator of Troop 67, and our father.
We're going to sing my favorite song.
It's my favorite song too. John, Alberts, Assistant Scoutmaster, and High Adventure Coordinator of Troop 67, and our father.
This is a repeat after me song.
This is a repeat after me song.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
I gotta get back to my job.
I gotta get back to my job.
With this pizza box in my hand.
With this pizza box in my hand.
I'm gonna be a pizza man.
I'm gonna be a pizza man.
Pizza man.
Pizza man.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
I gotta get back to my job.
I gotta get back to my job.
With these car keys in my hand.
With these car keys in my hand.
I'm gonna drive a Chevy van.
I'm gonna drive a Chevy van.
Chevy van.
Chevy van.
Pizza man.
Pizza man.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
I gotta get back to my job.
I gotta get back to my job.
With these nunchucks in my hand.
With these nunchucks in my hand.
I'm gonna be like Jackie Chan.
I'm gonna be like Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Chevy van.
Chevy van.
Pizza man.
Pizza man.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
I gotta get back to my job.
I gotta get back to my job.
With this basketball in my hand.
With this basketball in my hand.
I'm gonna be like Michael Jordan.
I'm gonna be like Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Chevy van.
Chevy van.
Pizza man.
Pizza man.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
I gotta get back to my job.
I gotta get back to my job.
With this guitar in my hand.
With this guitar in my hand.
I'm gonna be a musician.
I'm gonna be a musician.
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 Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Chevy van.
Chevy van.
Pizza man.
Pizza man.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
Hey, hey, bo diddly bop.
I gotta get back to my job.
I gotta get back to my job.
With this eagle in my hand.
With this Eagle Scout.
I'm proud to be an American.
I'm proud to be an American.
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 Musician.
Musician.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Chevy van.
Chevy van.
Pizza man.
Pizza man.
Have a great night, guys.
Bye! Woo! Virtual Campout!
There was a valley, and in that valley there was a bog.
What kind of bog?
A rattling bog. Hey ho, rattling bog, right down in the valley. Hey ho, rattling bog, right down in the valley. And in that bog there was a log.
What kind of log?
A rattling log. And the log branch on log and bog down in the valley.
Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley. Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley.
And on that stick, there was a twig.
What kind of twig?
A rattling twig. And the twig on a stick on a branch on log and bog down in the valley. Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley. Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley. And on that twig, there was a leaf.
What kind of leaf?
A rattling leaf. And the leaf on twig and twig on stick on branch on log and bog down in the valley.
Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley. Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley.
And on that leaf, there was a frog.
What kind of frog?
A rattling frog. The frog on a leaf and leaf on twig and twig on stick on branch on log and bog down in the valley.
Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley. Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley.
And on that frog, there was a wart.
What kind of wart?
A rattling wart. Wart on frog on leaf and leaf on twig and twig on stick on branch on log and bog down in the valley.
Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley. Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley.
And from that wart, there was a hare.
What kind of hare?
A rattling hare. And hare on wart on frog on leaf on twig on stick on branch on log and bog down in the valley.
Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley. Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley.
And on that hare, there was a tick.
What kind of tick?
A rattling tick. And tick on hare on wart on frog on leaf on twig on stick on branch on log and bog down in the valley.
Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley. Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley.
And on that tick, there was a microscopic organism.
What
Kind of microscopic organism.
A rattling microscopic organism. And the microscopic organism was on the tick, was on hare on the wart on frog on leaf on twig on branch, stick on a branch on log and bog down in the valley.
Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley. Hey ho, rat and bog down in the valley.
And on that microscopic organism.
Enthusiastic! H-A-P-P-Y! I love my job! I like it! I love it! I want some more of it! Make it hurt! Larry Krabs will make it hurt! Whoa! Yeah! Alright! Way to go, guys! I'm good.
Not the apple there is, and I can prove that I'm the guy that ate the corn.
I hate the corn! It's alive! It's the horn! It's the hay! Hi, hi, hi! Well, tell some trees. They were dirty underneath. Ever seen a mermaid? A mermaid?
The kids were playing in the glade.
In the glade!
And all the game was spoken that they played.
That they played!
I was hiding in a shrub and they were dashing with a club, and I could prove it was a diamond, not a spade.
Not a spade! It's alive! It's alive! It's the horn! It's the hay! Hi, hi, hi! Well, tell some trees. They were dirty underneath. I've never seen a mermaid. A mermaid!
It wouldn't move a budge, so you gave it a clutch of the good old Mountain Dew. Oh! My Uncle Art, he ain't very smart, his IQ is 42.
Or 3.
But he thinks he is a wizard when you fill up his gizzard with the good old Mountain Dew. Oh! That darn IRS wants my money, I guess I'd like to keep $1 or 2.
Or 3.
I'll settle that last when I fill up her glass with the good old Mountain Dew. Oh!
The second story window. With a hip, hop, hippity hop, they threw him out the window. There was an old lady who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do, so she threw him out the window. The second story window. With a hip, hop, hippity hop, she threw him out to Morgan.
5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off, bumped his head, so they threw him out the window. The second story window. With a hip, hop, hippity hop, they threw him out to Emma. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, and he threw it out the window, the window, the window, second story window. The hip hop, hippity hop, he threw it out to Abby.
Baa baa, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. And he threw it out the window, the window, the window, the second story window. With the hip hop, hippity hop, he threw it out the window to Dakota.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So I threw you out the window, the window, the window, the second story window. With a hip hop, hippity hop, and I threw him out to Caitlin.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. So they threw him out the window, the second story window. With a hip hop, hippity hop, they threw him out the window.
The amazing bandana! Stella and Stevie, Cub Scout, Pack 179, Longs Peak Council.
Hi, this is Steve Danielson.
And this is Stella Danielson from Pack 179 in Boulder.
Today we're going to be talking about how many ways you can use a bandana. So number 1 is a scarf. And if you're hot out, you can always soak it in water so it makes you cool.
Next is the hat to keep off ticks. You can do this, Stevie.
Okay, that's not it. Try again.
No, give me a restart. That's too embarrassing.
Okay.
Let's restart.
Okay, fold it again.
Restart.
Okay, headscarf, take 2. Stella.
See? You need someone to pull it up.
Okay, go again. Okay, that's not exactly right.
This is a good way to keep ticks and bugs out of your hair.
There you go.
This is a good way to keep the sun from hitting your head and to keep your hair out of your face.
Yep. Okay, Stella. Now come up over your, onto your forehead. There you go. Okay. And then tie it in the back. Good job. Great, good job!
Next use is as a blindfold for when you're playing games with friends.
That works. That's good.
It does.
Okay, go ahead.
Then we
Now-
flip it over, and then we go to the
All right.
next use is for a washcloth. The next use is a rag to clean your campsite.
The next use is as a bookmark.
Mark your page and wrap it up to protect it.
The next use is as a trail marker to help find your way.
Good job,
Hey.
Stevie.
I get it. I get it.
Good job.
The next use is for a napkin or to protect your uniform from barbecue. You can also use a bandana to scrub or dry your dishes.
You can also use a bandana for when you're hurt so you can hold ice. Also use a bandana to write important messages for you or someone else.
In worst case scenario, you might have to use your bandana as toilet paper.
You can also use a bandana to clean your glasses. Oh, my arm's bleeding!
Oh, let me get a bandage and put pressure on it.
If you get cold in the middle of the night, you can use your bandana as earmuffs. You also use your bandana as a measurement if you don't have a measuring tape with you. This one is 20 inches long.
You can use your bandana to carry your mug. Lastly, we're going to show you how to make a face mask out of a bandana. First, fold the bandana and put 2 light rubber bands on it. Then you took one into the other. Then you put it on. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you on the trail soon. Bye. The end. The amazing banana.
Hi,
Okay, action.
Hi, this is Steve.
Are you single? Sad.
Okay, go.
You
Ready?
single?
Okay, go ahead.
The next use is as a single.
No!
Watch the
The
fine
next
zone.
use is as a signal.
Signal. Should I say that?
No.
Okay.
Keep going.
The next use is as a signal. Wait, why did I do that?
The white flag means surrender.
No, we're restarting.
Hey guys, this is Bernie. You guys are going camping this summer? Gonna do a little bit of fishing when you're camping? I got a cool trick if you go up to the mountains. If you're gonna be camping along somewhere and there's a small stream that comes by, maybe an inlet to a lake, one of the best techniques I've ever done, you gotta make sure you can use bait in the areas now. One of the best techniques I've ever done is a simple split shot or 2 on your line, about 8 inches down, put a hook and just put a worm on it. Then drift it to cast it out in the current in the creek and let it drift down. You want it to move naturally down. You don't want it to anchor down. Just let it bounce along the bottom or in the middle of the column. You'll catch a whole bunch of brookies, rainbows, browns, whatever's in the creek. If you're fishing lakes and it's real nice out, throw it out, split shot, and a worm out there, throw it out. You can let it sit on the bottom. You can bring it in really slow. If it's windy, put it about 3 or 4 feet below a bobber and cast it out. And let the wind move it around. Them fish will come off the bottom and they'll eat it up. You'll have a great day. Give it a shot if you're out there fishing this summer.
Hi, my name's Brad Peterson with Brad Peterson Outdoors and a Shields Fishing Pro staff member. Also, grew up as a Cub Scout. Here to give you a few spring fishing tips for Colorado. So let's start off with some stuff you're going to be able to use to go out and catch a few fish right now. We're going to start off with a lull pattern, and you're going to notice I've done a lot of work with kids working with in-fishermen up at Camp Fish. And whenever I like starting people out or fishing with kids, I always like to use single hook presentations. So everything on here is going to be a single hook, less chance of people getting hooked, piercing an ear, or some other place they don't want to get hooked in. So we're going to start out with a small little jig. These are some VMC Moon Eyes and BioBait eggs. They're a fantastic presentation, not just for trout, but also catches a lot of panfish, bass. So what I do is take an ultralight spinning rod. I really like spinning rods. They're very versatile. They handle lighter line. Lighter line's going to get you more bites. So what I do is I take the jig head and I tie it on, put a couple eggs on there, and then up above it, I'm just going to put a little float. And this float is just as much as anything to keep the bait suspended so that you can move it really slowly. So that's my first setup that I'm going to go to. This is on 4-pound test Suffolk monofilament fishing line, but I really like using that. Shields makes some great rods to utilize, but ultralight presentation, this is probably my favorite go-to pond rod that I utilize throughout the year. So that's a first one. That will catch trout, crappie, bluegill, perch, bass, you name it. All great presentations. Next, let's go to, as you can see, a little marabou jig. Some of you might be familiar with this. Basically, it's real similar to the other presentation we had. A jig has a weight on the front of the hook. That's what helps you get it out there. This marabou is a real light feather that swims in the water, looks real natural, and this one has a little bit of flashaboo back here. This jig is phenomenal when the water's cold, and trout have a tough time getting rid of it. On these jigs, I'm going to use 1/16 to 1/32 ounce. This one I'm going 1/16 up to 1/4. This happens to be a 1/4. And what I'm going to do is I fish this two ways. First, I'll cast it out, count it down to the depth you want, and just a slow, steady reel in like that. The other presentation is I'm going to let it hit the bottom and bring it back up and let it go back down. That's the marabou jig. Now, for people maybe wanting to catch bass, get a little bigger, let's look at something else. The stinko or stickworm. These have become real popular over the last probably 8 to 10 years for catching bass and great in the spring. What this is it's a really straight worm right here. Not a whole lot of curls or anything to give it action, but what it is it's heavy weighted. And what we're going to do is we're going to ray it wacky style. Take a Nico hook. You're going to put this Nico hook right here, hook it right in the middle of the worm. And as you see, this worm's going to kind of bend in a U. And when you throw it out, that worm will kind of wobble on its way down. No weight, nothing else. As it wobbles down, it's going to look incredibly natural to fish, kind of like a dying minnow. I love the white color, pink early in the year as the water's clear. You can see them. And you may not see the fish bite, but what you're going to see is all of a sudden the white's going to be gone. But as this falls, you let it go down a little ways. Then you're going to take your rod. You're going to give it a couple little pops, which is going to cause that to kind of swim up. It's going to fold it in half and then let it kind of wobble back down, and then you're going to do it again. This is a slow presentation. You don't want to speed it up, but for springtime bass, particularly that are moving up in the shallows or possibly even on the beds, this is a great way to catch them. If you do catch a bass on the bed, we rely on natural reproduction of bass to keep those populations going. So let those fish go in the springtime. They'll get out, spawn, so that there's more fish to be caught for future years. If you want to, take a picture, post it on social media, that's fine. But, you know, if it's your secret spot, Watch what's in the background. People might find it. So let's go with two other jig type presentations for multi-species fish. We just covered the wacky rig. Here is just a jig, a little bit bigger version of that moon eye head. This is a 1/8 ounce jig head. And what I've done is I put it on a little spinner here. And you can put this hook right on here. There's kind of a safety pin clip. 1/8 ounce jig head, white twister tail. I put the curve on the tail down. That way if I decide that I want to put a little piece of worm or some sort of bait on there, I can do that. But usually I don't, but it at least gives me that option. Little twister tail just like this. This is as simple a presentation as you get. Fairly weedless. Cast it out and just a straight reel in. Count it down to the depth you want and just a straight reel in. This blade's going to spin, going to cause flash. The tail's going to swim. Great for crappies, bass, wipers, trout love it. And again, I do a lot with the white early in the year. Seems like that color imitates a shad and what the fish are eating. So it's a great presentation right there. That's, you know, the old school people, they're going to call it a beetle spin. My dad's favorite way to catch fish, without a doubt, a beetle spin, because it catches everything. And the last presentation we'll talk about. Let's go with a swim bait. We're taking the same jig head that we did before. I'm trying to give you some versatility out of one technique here. Hook the swim bait on. Now this, you notice the tail is a little bit different on this. It's got a paddle tail. What that does when you reel it in, a twister just kind of curls and wiggles back here. This paddle tail is going to cause this to thump a little more and going to cause the whole body to pivot or kind of roll a bit. So with this presentation, cast it out. I usually don't want this to go all the way to the bottom most of the times when I'm fishing it in the spring. I'm going to let it get down. I'm going to count it down, maybe let's say to a 2 count to start off, and reel it straight back in, a slow, steady retrieve. If I don't get any bites, maybe count it down to 3. Each number that you let it count down to, you're letting it get just a little bit deeper. And by counting it down, let's say we count it down to 5 and then we get a bite. We're able to repeat that. So as the day goes on, you might realize, you know what? I don't need to count down to 2 and 3. Let's just all go to 5. That's the depth all the fish are in. So this presentation again, a slow, steady retrieve in. The bait's going to do everything for you. Single hook, catches bass, walleye, wipers, trout. I've even caught a few big crappies on this. So another real good presentation to try. Just remember, if you're going for stocker trout or any fish, match the size of your presentation for the fish you're going for. If you're out trying to catch bluegill that are this big, the wacky worm is probably not going to be the right rig. But this little jig in the egg will catch a lot more of them. If you're going to go after bigger fish, you can use bigger lures like this. So I hope this gives you a few tips and you go out and catch a few fish this spring. If you do, reach out to me on social media. Send me a few pictures, or if you've got questions, that's great. I'm on Instagram at Brad P Outdoors, or Facebook at Brad Peterson Outdoors, SEN. And hope everyone gets out on the water and enjoys the nice weather coming up and catches a bunch of fish. Thanks a lot.
We are recording. Hi.
Hi,
My name is Joe, and I work in a button factory. One day,
my boss came up to me and said, "Hi, Joe.
are you busy?" I said, no.
No.
He said, turn the button with your left hand.
Hi, my name is Joe, and I work in a button factory. I have a wife and a dog and a family.
One day, the boss came up to me and said, hi, Joe, are you busy? I said, no. He said, turn the button with your right hand. Hi, my name is Joe, and I work in a button factory. I've got a wife and a dog and a family. One day, my boss came up to me and said, "Hey Joe, are you busy?" I said, "No." He said, "Turn the button with your left foot." Hi, my name is Joe, and I work in a button factory.
I have a wife and a family.
Are you busy?
Susie said no.
He said, "Turn the button with your right foot." Hi, my name is Joe, and I work in a button factory.
One
day,
boss
came me. Are you busy? I said, "No."
No.
Turn the button with your butt. Hi, my name is Joe.
I work in a button
factory. One day, the boss came up to me and said, "Hey, are you busy?" I said, "No." He said, "Turn the button with your tongue." And Joe. One day, a boss came up and said, "Hey, Joe, are you busy?" I said, "Yes." Woo!
Okay, so what you doing?
We're putting it in the last one and
The
then
last one. Oh, look at that. Is it good?
Hi, I'm Brody from Fort Collins and I'm in Troop 83, and today I'm going to be demonstrating what I'm sleeping in tonight. And I made a snow cave that I'm going to be sleeping in, and I'm putting my sled in there. I'm gonna wear this hat to preserve my body heat, and yeah, and I also made this one over here for my brother, so we're both gonna be sleeping in it, and yeah, that's basically it.
I bet I can tell you what time it is with only this wooden spoon and this pot.
There's no way. I bet you $20 you can't do it.
Hey, knock it off down there. Who's making that noise? Don't you know it's midnight?
Hi, I'm Will from Troop 247 from Greeley, Colorado.
Well,
on out east on the plains and fishing in a lot of places over my life, one really cool thing that I've learned to do no matter where I go, fish love Mr. Twisters. I'll never have them not in my bag. You can cast them out, you can work them deep in the water column, but if you're fishing around brush and everything, just put them on a bobber, and that way you can throw them out, have them on the bobber, you can twitch a bobber, it'll move, and you can let it sit, twitch it, and let it sit. Crappie, walleye, wiper, especially crappie and wiper, love that kind of stuff. If I'm fishing for trout, I'll be fishing more near the bottom. I'm casting them out and reeling them in. So if you guys are going camping this summer and you want a couple of lures but you don't know what to do, don't forget your bobber and your twister.
Hi Scouts, my name is Michael Adams.
And I'm Joe Beltran.
We're here to show you a couple tips and tricks for springtime bass fishing here in Colorado, kind of help keep you busy during the quarantine.
So first off, what I want to do is show you guys how to do is what is called a wacky rig. You'll need three things, and that's it. First off, I like to do is a 5-inch Senko. Basically, it's just a plastic worm. Wacky style hook. I prefer using the BMC. They're just a little bit sharper, and they've got a nice circular bend to it to kind of keep it extra wide gap so you can have better hook sets onto it. Next is called a wacky rig tool. Basically, it is just a empty tube that you slide your worm into, and it comes with rubber rings. So first off, I'll show you guys how to get this all rigged up and get yourself fishing. On two ends of your Senko, you'll have a fat side of the worm, and you'll also have a narrow side. I always go fat side into the tool. Once you have it in there, it should sit flush. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take these rubber rings, and sometimes they can be a pain. You'll slide it up and over the tool here, and it'll pop right onto your Senko, like that. Pull the worm out. Take your wacky style hook. All you have to do is slide that hook underneath the ring that you just put on. Should pop right up. Now what you guys have is yourself a nice plastic presentation for bass, perfect for slow action fishing, dragging it across beds, and just being able to take a few things that'll get you going and hopefully catch you some fish. It's a surefire technique that'll get you on tons of largemouth, smallmouth, anything that really pick it up. Michael's gonna be able to show you guys another technique. He prefers using what's called a Texas style.
Okay, this is a weedless, weightless bait. It is called a Texas rig. It's one of my favorite. It's one of the easiest to set up and produces a lot of fish and big fish at that. So you just take a classic wide gap hook, take your Senko, flat, fat end to be stuck on first, go through the worm, up to the top of the shoulder of the hook. The worm should just rest right there nicely, and through the back, not exposing the tip of the hook, making it weedless and proven to catch lots of fish. Thanks.
The sky is full of stars.
All right, 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
now I'm going to ask the gentleman who led you in to please lead you out. Thank you.
Have I kept my honor bright? Can I guiltless sleep tonight? Have I done and have I dared everything to be prepared?
Thunderbirds, yeah. Yeah, that's them. They showed up super quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
They just so happened my phone didn't start recording until just a second ago. They should wing back around this way.
Those things are so fast.
Let's see which way they go.
Hello, Longspeak Council. My name is Jared Hansberry. I'm Scoutmaster at Troop 67 in Longmont. Hope you've enjoyed this virtual campout. In all my years in scouting, on camp staff as a scout, this might be the most interesting campout I've been a part of, but it's been awesome. I hope you really enjoyed it. I've been asked to do the Scoutmaster Minute to close us out. So looking around what's going on right now, I found a minute that is talking about a scout is brave. So let me read this to you. Who is more brave? The tenderfoot that walks to the latrine at a campout at 2 a.m. or the life scout that rescues a drowning 6-year-old? Bravery doesn't depend on the task being done. It depends on the internal challenge overcome to perform the task. That tenderfoot may have been very brave to walk all alone in the pitch black to the latrine instead of chickening out and using the bushes. The life scout may have had no concerns going into 5 feet of water. A good definition of bravery is a quality of spirit that enables you to face danger of pain without showing fear. Being brave is not being unafraid. Quite the opposite. Fear and bravery go hand in hand. When you are afraid, you can still do what needs to be done. Now that is being brave. Whether it's saving someone in danger, sticking up for a new kid at school, or telling somebody about your beliefs. There are many situations where you can be brave or cowardly. You find out a lot about who you really are when you find yourself in those situations. One of the bravest things I ever did was getting up the nerve to turn the lights off in my bedroom as a kid. But that's another story. Now, right now, we're living in a situation that's very scary. And it's not scary just for you. It's scary for the adults, too. I know in my situation, I haven't been able to go see my dad in over a month. My wife is pregnant right now, and it's very scary because she's only been able to leave the house a couple times in this whole last about a month now. So it's not just scary for kids, it's scary for the adults. So if you're feeling that, make sure you talk to your parents, talk to your den leaders. I've heard great things about what troops are doing out there right now, what scouts are doing out there right now, what Cub Scout Packs are doing out there right now. In my troop, our patrols are meeting virtually. my son's Cub Scout pack is meeting virtually, and it's been really fun. So my biggest take from this is find ways where you can help. We've seen scouts helping make face masks. We've seen scouts playing trumpets or playing music out in their neighborhoods at night. There are a lot of things you can do. Writing letters to people that are in nursing homes right now that can't see their loved ones, that are so locked down they can't even leave their rooms, but writing a note to them, letting them know there's people out there that are thinking of them. Those are all things we can do, because remember, a scout is brave. A scout is kind. And a scout is also cheerful. A scout does everything with a smile. So make sure we're doing our best to be kind to one another, to be cheerful. I know distance learning for a lot of you is a new thing, and it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing for teachers. It's a hard thing for students. It's a hard thing for parents. So we need to show compassion with each other. I'm going to end with a prayer that I learned as a very young scout. And now the Heavenly Scoutmasters look upon each of us and upon all scouts as we follow the trail to Eagle. Amen. I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope you had fun, and I hope these words meant something to you. Good luck in your journey to Eagle. Good luck in finishing out your school years, and hopefully I'll see you around at different campouts. And take care and stay healthy.